I'm sorry, guys. Hello, honorable members of the class. Let's go to the knockout thing. High not Ratha ordering for short adjournment himself, not asking for what time it is. I mean, you did see Mr. What is the Mumalo around 27 minutes past 11 looking at Mr. Mnisi as if he was indicating, guy, we need to go to short adjournment. And then stands Malloy to make an objection about how many times Mr. Mnisi has been asking the same question. And Ratha was like, I cannot go through this. I can't with Gininda. Out of here. Short adjournment, 15 minutes, and he's shot out of the court. I know people save us from Gininda. Save us, save us, save us. A yes or no question with no explanations asked. The man, he doesn't mind repeating the same thing, but the judge is not saying, but that was not the question that was asked of you. No, Gininda goes on and on and on. And then why every time, I think I've asked this question before, why every time his answers has compartments, first part, second, are we on Macbeth? Hey, somebody, whoever commented about Macbeth yesterday on one of my videos, you are my tribe because that is actually my favorite Shakespeare. Yep. I'm a big lover of Macbeth, especially Lady Macbeth. Funny enough, anyways, let's not go. Let's go to what transpired in court today. So Mr. Mnisi is still on this pro forma or this warning statement as to why is it not prescribed? Why does it have so many versions of it? And I feel like this particular one that Mr. Gininda chose, it works in his favor, just like many other things that I think in this investigation, in order to sell the story of the 5 accused people, he needed to find the loopholes in the SCPS, prescribed documents, unprescribed documents, documents that has lacunas, document that also has loopholes that he can utilize. And then when he's asked about it in court, he's able to stand on that ground and that ground only, and there's nothing else you can tell him or the other way. And if it is argued against, he's able to also say, but then why are you making us have all these different documents? But the question is, in as much as there's all these different versions, no specific prescriptions or prescribed version of how to take down a pro forma, which one is the most common one that is used by the SAPS? Because there's got to be that one all police stations around the country agreed on, that because we have all these different versions, can we use this one? All of us, let's use this one. So even though he's going to bring them tomorrow, the question still remains, which one did the SAPS agreed they are going to use as a uniform form to fill in when they are going to take warning statements? That is what I'm interested in, because to me it sounds so convenient. Everything sounds so convenient for Mr. Gininda in order for him to have made this decision to arrest these 5 people for a crime I still don't believe they committed. It doesn't make sense at all. So I am not surprised, and I think if I'm Mr. Mnisi myself, I will labor on this until I get the right answers. Or better yet, get the mothership, and that is the National Commissioner or the Minister of Police. Understand? Let's talk about this document, and hopefully at some point this court may not, okay, I know the separations of powers, is a separation of powers, they are not allowed to instruct Parliament what to do, but at least plant a seed in the minister's mind that we need to go re-look at this document and have a prescribed one, a uniform warning statement, so that we don't have a situation like this one. So let's say these men, indeed, they are the deleters of Senzo Meiwa. Do you know, or I suspect that if they are let gone, they will be let gone on the basis that this non-prescribed warning statement is unconstitutional, and therefore these men can go home type of situation. So to me, it's dangerous if it's not paid attention to, or it is something that really needs to be worked on or explained, because I suspect there is a common warning statement that all police use because of these discrepancies that are being exposed in this court. And I feel like Gininda is taking advantage of that, and because he knows that he can argue it till the moon turns into the sun and vice versa. Now let's go back to the beginning of today's proceedings about the 26th of October 2014, how the 26th of October 2014 came about from Ntanzi according to Gininda. And on the records, it says Ntanzi said because he has heard it on all over the media. And then Mr. Baloy gets up and says, but radio, I'm like, no. Let me tell you something, as a Zulu person, right? Most of the time, Zulu people rely on the news from the radio. You know why we rely a lot on the radio during the day? Because the Ukhozi FM, they speak isiZulu, they tell the news in isiZulu, and we understand the news comprehensively in isiZulu. Why? Because the next program could be a Zulu story. You know those stories that they, I don't know. Okay, I only know Ukhozi FM, they have stories like, I don't know how you call them. Like some kind of tale that they tell. So you would listen to the news, then it come a story. And then from there, other programs will take place. So to do Koza at 9. I don't know if she's still at 9 on Ukhozi FM. But every top of the hour, we listen to the news. Even though we have televisions, we still listen to e-radio for news. To this day, we rely on radio for news. If you're a Zulu person and you know what I'm talking about, put it in a comment section so that the rest of the world gets to understand what Ntanzi meant. And on top of that, Ntanzi was a minor. Now, what television was he going to be watching under the ground except to listen to a radio, to the radio, probably with an earphone on? And of course, this news of Senzo Mayo was all over the news. And back in 2014, there was no TikTok. There was YouTube, but there were no news channels on YouTube at the time. Facebook was also not doing news. People were just reporting things on their own from what they've heard on Facebook, but it was not news. So there were no online newspapers or magazines. So when we talk of all over the media at that time, we're talking about radio, television, and newspapers. That's the media. That I don't know why we were arguing this. Even when Mr. Mnisi was asking Judge Ratha evaded that question like it was a plague. Like a plague, y'all. That's how we just avoided it, because he wanted to defend the state's statement on the basis of something that he did not understand when Ntanzi said all over the news. All over the news. He simply meant Ukhozi FM. That part, I am not moved or shaken by it, because that's what we listen to. Even myself, to this very day, when I am sitting, I have a television in the living room, but I tune onto Ukhozi FM for news, for anything that I want on Ukhozi FM. So I didn't understand that argument at all. I first felt that it was frivolous, that Mr. Gininda is being defended on something that he tried to impose on Ntanzi by saying, oh, that's when I knew he's the one who's involved in the deleting of Senzo Mayo, because he gave a date that how did he remember the date? Like I said, I still remember what I was doing on the 26th of October 2014. I can still remember. But that is why, again, like I said, let's have psychologists. Have psychologists. One for the state and one like what you would get with legal aid board type of situation. To come and speak on the mind of a person. How is it possible they are able to remember this and how they are not able to remember that? It was just, I didn't understand it. I just did not understand that argument at all. But anyways, we continued. Then we got back to what I just spoke about earlier regarding that warning statement. Gininda that is trying to push away and say, there is no prescription, and I can utilize any of these warning statement forms that are out there, and you can't question me about it. And then the question of Mjiako. And I found that to be quite interesting because they are relying, especially the states, together with Gininda, on a please call me. Who sent that please call me? What time was that please call me sent? And at that time, why Ntanzi's cell phone was on him for him to send a please call me? Because they said when Mukhanu said, when we arrested Ntanzi on the 16th of June 2020, we confiscated his cell phones. He had 2 of them. So now, when was this please call me sent? What time was it sent? And remember, when you send a please call me, you're basically requesting somebody who may have airtime to call you back and then have a conversation. Where is that conversation in the 205? And how long was that conversation between Mjiako as well as the cell phone apparently that Ntanzi made a please call me to Mjiako with? How long was that conversation? Because they seem to say that there was communication via please, unless those men in that court don't understand what a please call me is. I don't get it. I don't get it. And Judge Ratha is quiet. He's not going to say anything because this is the defense's time to cross-examine. But when he is going during arguments, he said, but you did not canvass the please call me being a request for somebody to call you. That there's no conversation, there's no record that shows that there was ever a conversation between Mjiako and Ntanzi. And how is it that Ntanzi would have been able to call, or even Mjiako call Ntanzi? He's supposed to be detained. And all of his things are supposed to be in SAP 13 store. Guys, this is a joke. This is a joke. We all know this is a joke. But wow, towards the end, man, I was finished with laughter. No. Let me just go take a break because my brain is drained out of this, man. Let me just go take a break. Short adjournment. And right now we are on short adjournment, but I believe they're about to come back. So let me stop right here. And I just thought, let me let you guys know what I was thinking during this morning's arguments, whatever that was. It was quite interesting. Mr. Mnisi is asking pertinent questions. Very much valid. Did you not see Baloyi getting up so many times today? And none of his objections stuck. He keeps making a total fool of himself. But it is what it is. They need to distract as much as they can so that they break the chain of thoughts of Mr. Mnisi. It's the strategy. And then the long winding answers from Gininda is also to do the same thing. And I'm liking that Mr. Mnisi has now given him a long rope. Just keeps quiet and said, but this is not the question I asked you. But yeah, guys, let's go back to the torture because they are back. See you a little bit later. Please don't leave this video without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Bye.